プライベートでも使いますけど、その日のメニューだったりとか。
Meet Shohei Ohtani, the man who broke the sport's most unbreakable rule. In a game where you're told to choose one, he chose everything. A 100-mile-per-hour fastball on the mound, towering, physics-defying home runs at the plate, all from the same player, in the same season. They said, "It can't be done." Babe Ruth did it once, a century ago. Shohei Ohtani made it the new normal. While the world tried to label him, Shohei simply played. And in doing so, he became something baseball hadn't seen in over 100 years. This isn't just talent. It's about sacrifice, silence, superstardom, and then the million-dollar lifestyle. Let's dive in, but before we do, like this video and subscribe for more videos on the lives of your favorite sports stars. Every success story has a begin alongside its bumps, and I'd like us to start from there. Born on July 5th, 1994, in Mizusawa, now part of Oshu, in Iwate Prefecture, Japan, Shohei Ohtani was born into a home pulsing with athletic spirit. His father, Toru, spent his days working at an automobile plant and his evenings playing baseball in Japan's Industrial League. His mother, Kayoko, had once been a national-level badminton player, swift and precise, her movements echoing the discipline she later passed on to her children. Shohei, the youngest of three, grew up surrounded by both aspiration and example. Long before baseball captured his heart, little Shohei watched his mother train. At just 2 years old, he wandered through the local badminton gym, gripping a racket far too big for his tiny hands, swinging it with a clumsy joy. His mother would later reflect on those early days, how the wrist mechanics of badminton were not so different from the rhythm of a pitcher's motion. The seeds of his future were already being planted in ways no one yet recognized. When he wasn't in the gym, he was in the water. Swimming came naturally to him, his childhood friends recalling the way he kept up effortlessly with older kids. His body moved with instinctive coordination, as though built for motion itself. Though he enjoyed both sports, only baseball stirred something deeper in him, a spark of confidence, a sense that this was where he belonged. That spark grew brighter the day he visited the Mizusawa Little League field. Surrounded by the dusty diamond and the smell of fresh-cut grass, Shohei felt an immediate connection. He joined the team in his 3rd year of elementary school, not because anyone pushed him, but because, by his own words, he drifted toward the game naturally. And once he arrived, he never drifted back. As Shohei entered adolescence, the world began to take notice. He chose to stay close to home and attend Hanamaki Higashi High School, a northern baseball powerhouse known for shaping disciplined, resilient players. It was here that his legend began to form. By 17, his fastball exploded at 99 miles per hour, an almost impossible feat for a high schooler. Scouts gathered like storm clouds from across Japan and far beyond, radar guns trembling in their hands as they watched a teenager rewrite expectations. But beneath the growing hype was a boy who still carried the quiet resolve of his hometown. Shohei dreamed boldly, so boldly that at the end of high school, he declared his desire to leap directly to Major League Baseball, a leap few had ever attempted. Yet Japan wasn't ready to let him go. The Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters drafted him 1st overall in 2012, convinced that the best path to the world would begin in Japan. Through a series of earnest meetings, they persuaded him, explaining that the greatest Japanese players had grown strong at home before crossing the ocean. Shohei listened, and ultimately he agreed. Shohei Ohtani did not rise from a single moment of brilliance. He rose from a childhood rooted in movement, family, and unwavering encouragement, a childhood that nurtured not just a prodigy, but a phenomenon. Shohei Ohtani didn't just arrive in professional baseball. He erupted into it, carrying with him the bold promise that the sport could still surprise us. And from the first moment he stepped onto the field, he began rewriting the rules. In 2013, the young prodigy took his first professional steps in Nippon professional baseball, displaying dazzling potential as both a pitcher and a hitter. For 5 seasons, he electrified crowds, and in 2016, he helped lead the Fighters to a Japan Series championship, cementing himself as one of Japan's most captivating athletes. When Ohtani finally crossed the ocean in 2018 to join the Los Angeles Angels, the baseball world watched with hesitation and awe. No player in generations had attempted such a two-way career at the major league level. But Shohei didn't arrive to experiment, he arrived to excel. In his very first season, he did exactly that. With blistering fastballs on the mound and thunderous home runs at the plate, he delivered a performance so remarkable that he earned the American League Rookie of the Year award. But 2021 became the season that changed everything. Shohei was selected as an All-Star both as a pitcher and a position player, becoming the first person in MLB history ever to hold both honors in the same year. Analysts and fans searched for comparisons, but even Babe Ruth's name felt insufficient. Ohtani was creating a new blueprint entirely. Year after year, he piled on MVP awards, Silver Sluggers, all MLB selections, and record-breaking numbers, building a modern legend in real time. Then, in December 2023, came a moment that shook the sports world. Ohtani signed a 10-year, $700 million contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers, the largest contract ever awarded in professional sports. It was more than a signing, it was a declaration of his global impact. Despite recovering from elbow surgery and serving primarily as a hitter in 2024, he continued to draw sold-out crowds. Fans came not just to watch a superstar, they came to witness a phenomenon. And as the Dodgers climbed to World Series titles in 2024 and 2025, Ohtani's presence remained central to their championship identity. By the time he prepared to pitch again in 2025, anticipation felt almost electric. The world wasn't just watching Shohei Ohtani, it was holding its breath for what he would do next. In his $700 million contract with the Los Angeles Dodgers, Ohtani asked to defer $680 million of that total, collecting only $2 million a year while he plays, and saving the rest for the decade after, when he will receive $68 million annually from 2034 to 2043. This single decision changed not only his future, but the economics of the entire league. The structure of the deal gave the Dodgers extraordinary flexibility, allowing them to build a powerhouse roster around him. But it also revealed something else. Ohtani wasn't thinking in seasons. He was thinking in eras. He had created a financial river that would continue flowing long after his final pitch, a plan that insulated him from risk and guaranteed a level of long-term stability almost no athlete has ever secured. Yet even this historic contract is only one part of Ohtani's empire. His true financial engine hums far from the baseball diamond, across billboards, commercials, and global partnerships that stretch from Tokyo to New York. By 2025, his annual earnings from endorsements alone had surpassed $100 million, placing him in a club so exclusive it includes only a few names: Tiger Woods, Roger Federer, Stephen Curry. Ohtani's off-field income is 10 times greater than that of the next highest-earning MLB player, an unprecedented gap not seen in professional sports since the peak of Usain Bolt's market dominance. Wherever he appears, demand follows. American companies such as Fanatics, New Balance, and Epic Games compete for space beside him, while Japanese giants like Seiko, Kosei, Nishikawa, Kowa, and Ito-En treat him as both national hero and international ambassador. More than 20 brands rely on him to represent them globally, and his fame travels effortlessly between cultures and continents. Some corporate leaders describe Ohtani as a once-in-a-generation marketing phenomenon, so popular that his team must actively limit opportunities just to avoid overexposure. While endorsements flow around him like a rising tide, Shohei himself stays almost startlingly grounded. He lives simply, avoids extravagance, and makes decisions that reflect long-term vision rather than short-term thrill. Behind the scenes, he chooses partnerships with precision, preferring quality and alignment over sheer volume. Several of his deals are structured not just as advertisements, but as deep collaborative ventures, agreements that give him equity-like returns and anchor his future beyond baseball. His financial portrait is a moving target, growing too quickly for a single estimate to capture. By 2026, his net worth was recorded between $150 million and $250 million, depending on how analysts calculated the value of his deferred earnings and expanding business ventures. But even these numbers feel like snapshots of a story still accelerating. If trends continue, Ohtani is on a path to becoming one of the wealthiest athletes in history and possibly the wealthiest baseball player ever. Shohei Ohtani's financial journey mirrors his athletic one, bold, unconventional, and quietly revolutionizing the game. He dominates on the mound and at the plate, but he also dominates the global marketplace with discipline, humility, and a strategy built not on flash, but on foresight. He is redefining what it means to be a superstar, an athlete whose influence extends far beyond the field, shaping how sports contracts are negotiated, how brands reach international audiences, and how athletes build lasting wealth. Let's take a tour through his mansions. When Shohei Ohtani signed his historic deal with the Dodgers, the world wondered where a global phenomenon like him might choose to build a life. The answer came in May 2024, when he quietly acquired a sprawling $7.8 million estate in La Cañada Flint Ridge, a secluded retreat once owned by comedian Adam Carolla. The purchase signaled not just a new chapter in his baseball journey, but the beginning of an intimate relationship with the hidden, luxurious corners of Southern California. The home itself is a statement of elegance. Nearly 7,327 square feet of clean lines and mid-century modern influences stretch across a wooded acre of land. Floor-to-ceiling glass wraps the estate in sunlight. A family room anchored by a sleek fireplace spills effortlessly into a backyard designed for quiet escape. An infinity-edge pool, a hot tub, and even a full sport court nestled among the trees. The primary suite feels almost like a private spa, offering a balcony, soaking tub, and expansive walk-in closet that seems built for a man who carries two worlds on his shoulders. Inside, the house opens like a cinematic reveal. A home theater waits for late-night film study or quiet downtime. A gym and sauna offer a sanctuary for recovery. Custom cabinetry and top-of-the-line appliances turn the gourmet kitchen into a stage for culinary creativity. And everywhere, glass, inviting the mountains, the sky, and the California light into every moment. But the peace Ohtani sought here did not last. Shortly after the purchase, Japanese media leaked the address of his new home to the public. What should have been a private sanctuary instantly became a source of anxiety. Cameras appeared at the gates. Fans found their way to the quiet cul-de-sac. Reporters walked the perimeter looking for glimpses through the trees. For a man known for valuing privacy as deeply as performance, the intrusion was devastating. Stories broke across news outlets, detailing Ohtani's shock and frustration. Sources close to him revealed the words he spoke in disbelief. "I can't live there anymore." The mansion he had chosen for its serenity was now compromised, its location exposed before he ever truly settled in. Despite the upheaval, the mansion remains in his possession, still registered to the LLC he used for the purchase, still standing quietly beneath the California sun. Some believe he may be holding on to it while exploring alternative homes, or perhaps while a different dream takes shape. Reports surfaced that, just weeks before buying the California estate, Ohtani purchased land in Hawaii, acres overlooking the ocean, where he may someday build a custom retreat far from the glare of media attention. In many ways, Ohtani's mansions tell a story that mirrors his life. Extraordinary, scrutinized, and touched always by a desire for balance. Behind the gates and glass walls lies a man seeking what fame so often steals: peace, grounding, and a place to simply breathe. Whether he chooses the mountains of La Cañada, the shores of Hawaii, or another hidden haven entirely, each home becomes part of the legend. Because Shohei Ohtani's life, both on and off the field, is shaped not only by the roar of stadiums, but by the quiet spaces he builds for himself in the world. Next is the obvious car collection to match his status. His car collection, much like his career, is a balance of precision, power, and elegance. Shohei Ohtani doesn't flaunt his success, but his garage tells a story of a man who appreciates engineering as finely tuned as his own talent. The first to catch the eye is his Tesla Model X P90D, a futuristic electric machine with falcon wing doors that rise like outstretched wings. For all its elegance, it hides brutal acceleration, 0 to 60 in just 2.6 seconds. Ohtani's version, priced around $100,000, stands as his nod to innovation, a quiet but confident statement that performance doesn't always need gasoline. Beside it sits the Mercedes-Benz S63 AMG, a symphony of German engineering. Its twin-turbo V8 snarls beneath the hood, delivering both plush comfort and explosive power. This pinnacle of luxury sedans reflects Ohtani's poise, composed on the outside, fierce within. The car's price hovers around $170,000 to $189,800, depending on model specification. Further down the row gleams the unmistakable silhouette of the Bentley Continental GT, a grand tourer that feels hand-carved by artisans. Its twin turbocharged W12 engine matches Ohtani's on-field intensity with thunderous acceleration. He reportedly acquired his for about $200,000 to $370,000, aligning power with quiet sophistication. Then, lit beneath a soft halo of overhead lights, is perhaps the collection's crown jewel in spirit, the Aston Martin DB11. A car that blends British restraint with raw athleticism, it mirrors Ohtani's crossover appeal, elegant, global, and unmistakably elite. The DB11 in his lineup carries a price tag of around $205,000. And finally, like a monarch among machines, rests the Rolls-Royce Wraith. Its presence alone changes the air, a whisper-quiet V12, handcrafted luxury, and a price befitting royalty, $330,000. This is not simply a car, it is a rival, it is legacy, it is the kind of luxury reserved for someone who has mastered both sides of the Pacific. But Ohtani's collection doesn't stop with the iconic five. Rumors from the dugout and the streets of Los Angeles suggest he also keeps a Porsche Taycan Turbo S, a blisteringly fast electric sedan reportedly worth around $269,099, and may even own a Porsche 911 Carrera S, valued up to $125,000. Further proof that his tastes blend cutting-edge technology with timeless performance. These machines are not trophies. They are reflections of a player who pursues excellence in all its forms, of a man who moves between worlds, cultures, and expectations with grace, and of an athlete whose journey, like these engines, continues to accelerate. Let's take a look at his personal life and the human connections that keep him grounded. The world knows Shohei Ohtani as a phenomenon, an athlete who bends baseball to his will, who turns every swing and pitch into a spectacle. But when the stadium lights fade and the roar dissolves into quiet, Ohtani steps into a different world, a world he guards with uncommon care. For years, fans wondered who he was when the uniform came off. They knew the legend, but not the man. Shohei Ohtani has always been a mystery, soft-spoken, disciplined, and almost impossibly private. Even as his fame surged across continents, he kept his personal life locked behind calm smiles and polite deflections. Rumors came and went. He never entertained them. Then, in February 2024, everything changed. With a quiet Instagram post, Ohtani revealed he had begun a new chapter, not only with the Dodgers, but also in his life. He was married. No name, no details, just a gentle request that people warmly watch over us. 2 weeks later, the mystery ended. Cameras captured him boarding a plane to Seoul beside a woman, tall, athletic, reserved. Her name, Mamiko Tanaka, a former professional basketball player in Japan. Mamiko Tanaka was not a celebrity chasing the spotlight. She had built a career of her own, playing 4 seasons for the Fujitsu Red Wave in the Women's Japan Basketball League before retiring in 2023. At 5 feet 11 inches, she was known for her discipline, calm presence, and strong work ethic, qualities that mirrored Ohtani's. To Ohtani, she was simply a normal Japanese woman, a phrase that reflected not her accomplishments, but the quiet, grounding presence she brought to his life. To fans, she became a symbol of how deeply he valued privacy, normalcy, and humility in the midst of superstardom. Though she rarely appeared publicly at first, their bond slowly came into view. After the Dodgers' 2024 World Series win, Mamiko began showing up more often, walking the field with him, cradling their dog Decoy, sharing small, everyday smiles that revealed a family taking shape. In April 2025, Shohei Ohtani shared another life-changing moment. He and Mamiko welcomed their first child, a baby girl. They never revealed her name, another deliberate choice to protect what mattered most. Fans saw glimpses: Ohtani wheeling a stroller into a playoff game, Mamiko beside him, Decoy trotting along happily. In these fleeting images, the global icon looked less like an untouchable superstar and more like what he always wanted to be. Simply a father, a husband, a man building a quiet life beyond the arena. His marriage kept secret until he chose to reveal it. His wife, a fellow athlete who understands the weight of expectation. Their daughter, shielded tenderly from the world's gaze. Their dog Decoy, a constant companion, trotting happily through celebrations and airport terminals alike. Ohtani's personal life is defined not by spectacle, but by intention. Privacy over publicity, depth over display, authenticity over attention. Together, the Ohtani family lives quietly in the shadows of his global fame, steady, grounded, and whole. What makes Ohtani's story profoundly inspirational is that every time the world expected him to be superhuman, he reminded us that he is human first. And yet, it is exactly that humanity, his quiet courage, his resilience, his refusal to let the weight of expectation crush the joy of the game, that elevates him into legend. His life invites us to imagine boldly, to work patiently, and to rise each day with the belief that greatness is not a moment, but a lifelong practice. So as this story closes, let his journey echo in your own, that no dream is too ambitious when matched with discipline, and that the truest victories are the ones you build quietly, consistently, guided by love, purpose, and unwavering faith in who you can become. Shohei Ohtani's legacy is still unfolding, and perhaps the greatest inspiration he offers is this: your own story still can too. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, drop your comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.